Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It is the Inconsequential Runner here, and I am here with Coach Mark. If you've joined us recently, you would have joined us during this series of questions where Coach Mark, we trap you and we ask you the questions that we want to ask a coach as runners. Invitation to you as a viewer, if you have any questions you want put forward to Coach Mark, put them in the comments below. We will ask them. And some of the questions we've asked have been some pretty out there questions about what we do with our upper body at the gym and how we use our arms when we're running. How do we get the most out of it? So some of these questions are fairly peripheral, but this one I think is right down the middle. So Coach Mark, welcome along. Thanks for joining us. The question we're going to put to you today is the importance of core work. And if we spend time on our core, how will that help us with our running? So core work. Coach Mark, what do you think? What do we need to be cognizant of in terms of working our core, and how will it help us?
Sure. Look, core training is certainly important. But it reminds me of someone asked me not that long ago, they said to me, how will me having six-pack abs, how's that going to help me run faster? Which is an interesting question, because one, having six-pack abs won't really help you run faster.
You look good running faster.
Having six-pack abs actually indicates, tightness in that area. The stomach muscle should be reasonably flexible to sort of allow the diaphragm to go up and down. The lungs to so having very tight restricted abs isn't the best thing. But the other thing is core training isn't about six-pack abs at all. it's a misconception. Is that the word?
Yeah, misconception. That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying you don't need to have six-pack abs to have a good core? Is that what you're saying?
No. Yeah, core training, as far as I'm concerned, it's balance strength of all the muscles around the hips. So the abs attached to the hips, but in terms of core, it's more about the lower abs rather than the upper abs. That your six-pack abs, if they're particularly developed, as some people are, they're very developed there, but not balance strength around the rest of their body. What that does, it actually pulls their chest forward, hunches the shoulders forward. As I said, it prevents the diaphragm from going up and down smoothly. It's hard to get a full breath of air in. But balance strength around the whole. So you think of all the muscles that attach to your hips. You got your glutes and your lower stomach muscles that should hold your hips stable. In a front and back sort of frame of mind. And then you've got the muscles at the side of the hips that prevent your hips from wobbling from side to side. So we spend a lot of time sitting down. So our glute muscles are generally pretty weak. Lower stomach muscles, pretty weak. Hip flexor muscles very tight. So it's a case of balancing all this. I mean, we hit the ground at about 5 times our body weight. So if the idea of core training is that when you hit the ground, that energy is returned in terms of propulsion. It's not lost in terms of your hips collapsing forward or sideways. So which causes a loss of energy and power and an injury risk as well, because you're hitting the ground and things are going out of whack. Yeah, your hips, your knees, your ankles.
So you're saying when you're hitting the ground, you've got a lot of force coming up and through your body.
You have.
And your body has to be resilient to that force to be able to get propulsion, I suppose, maintain your balance and to get propulsion and continue moving forwards.
Yep.
So this is because I know you, Coach Mark, I know you do a core session because I go along to it, and I've never actually stopped to think about the variation of the core muscle, of the exercises you get us to do. Because when I've thought core up to now, you just think that six-pack and the abs right in front. But you're telling me we've got all these muscles that join through the front, through your trunk, 360 degrees, maybe all the way around, and it's about strengthening all of those, and that's what you think about when we talk about core.
Yep. You know, back in the day, there was an executive toy. It's called the Newton's Cradle, which I'm sure you've probably seen on people's desks.
No,
And
no,
it was
remind me. Oh, is this that with the
five ball
balls?
bearings. You got it attached to strings. So you let this one go, it whacks into the ball bearings, which sends this one flying off.
Yeah.
Now, if the ball bearings are all packed tightly together, you let this one go, this one flies off at the same rate as this one is, and then that one comes back, hits that one, and that can go forever. You know, you just get people setting them going. There's no dissipation of energy because the balls are close together. Whereas if you separate them, you let one go, and then the energy is lost from one ball to another, and then this one hardly goes at all. I find that a good analogy to explain core strength.
So the stronger the core, the closer the balls are together?
You got it. Yeah, okay. That's right. That's right. So you think weak core muscles, the balls are separated.
Gotcha. Okay, so you want them more tightly packed. Okay, I've got 2 quick fire questions for you, and I might catch on the hop here because I didn't say I was going to ask these questions before. The last video, previous to this one, we talked about the importance of upper body strength. Does core work connect your upper body, some parts of your upper body, to your legs? Like, is there any benefit? Is there something in your upper body above your core that you want your core to strengthen to connect to your legs? And if so, what is that? And is there one exercise? I know there'll be a multitude, but is there one exercise you can advocate that maybe the viewers can start to do at home to at least balance or start to strengthen some of their core?
Yes, the core, that's exactly what it does. The core, it basically allows you to transfer the strength from the ground up through your legs, up through here, up to your upper body. So it's basically what it does. It's in a way, I think, why it's called the core, actually, because it's where energy comes through the core and out the top. So if say for example, someone who did lots of exercises in the gym, say lots of upper body exercises, they might be lying on a bench doing a bench press, for example, where they're not using the core muscles or the legs at all. That's all fine. They'll be extremely strong in those muscles, but that's not necessarily going to strengthen them for something where they have to hit the ground and spring up, for example. It's because you're just working one part of the body divorced to the rest of the body.
Right.
So the core transfers the energy from the ground all the way up.
Okay. In terms of that other part of the question, what should we be doing for exercises? Actually, hold that thought, Coach Mark. What I've just thought of now is maybe you and I can go to the gym and literally do a session there in terms of what would be good leg exercises, what would be good core exercises. So let's park that for some future videos, but we'll come back to that. But at least we know the importance of working your core. So I think to wrap up this video, what we're saying is unquestionably working your core will give you benefits in your running.
That's right. That's right. And if someone asks you, why should I work my core? Just say to them, you want to have your balls closer together. And that'll get them stop and thinking.
Yeah, okay. And maybe they explain a bit more after that, but I love it. I love it. Okay, Coach Mark, I think look, I think we'll finish on that point. Oh, no, I did have a quick question just before we wrap. Is there a day where we shouldn't be working our core? So if we think about our long run, our easy run, interval training, is there any days where we want to keep our core a little bit fresher? So you mentioned before on your leg days, don't do a heavy leg day if you're doing tempos or intervals later in the afternoon. Makes sense. Is there all around when not to do your core?
Yeah, well, core is the same really. I would put that in with a heavy leg workout, because if you think about it, if you working your core well, then you're fatiguing your core a bit, and that's going to compromise the quality of your running session.
Yep.
So you ideally want to do the core work after a hard run.
And that's what I do on your Thursday.
It is something you can do on an easy day, because it's not aerobically, or core work generally isn't as fatiguing in terms of long lasting in terms of limbs, unless you haven't done it for a while. Then people often say they feel it a bit, especially if they laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would lump it in with the legs. You don't want to do hard core work before a hard run.
No, do your hard run first, your core after, which is what I do on Thursdays when I come to your core session. I've done that interval morning, but I can say the core session is even harder after the run. It makes an unbelievable difference. You've already drained.
But that's not a bad thing, actually.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's actually a good thing. Yeah.
Coach Mark, thank you very much. Everybody watching this video, thank you. Stay around for the next one. What are we doing in the next one? Oh, we're talking about cadence. And should it change for your easy runs? Vitally important. That's a goodbye from me, Coach Mark.
See you later, guys. Bye.
All right, team. Catch you in the next one. Take care.